Hello everyone, this is Moduli Stack, and it has been ages since I posted a video. Sorry about that, I've been really busy and really sick for a couple of weeks, but feeling pretty good right now, don't have huge looming deadlines, so I'm going to try to be doing some more videos this week. This is a Bronze League replay. By the way, check out the Reddit King of the Hill tournaments. I'm hosting the Thursday Gold and Platinum King of the Hill tournaments for SC Reddit, and those have been a lot of fun, and actually they're one of the reasons I don't feel like I have that much time right now, because they last for 4 hours and happen every week, so that's at least 4 hours of commentary from me per week. Anyway, as I said, this is a Bronze League replay, so anybody who's bronze in the audience, pay attention, but actually anybody who is under diamond, pay attention. I'm going to start this replay over in a second. Let me just give it a little pause here. I'm going to say a lot of very important things here. You've probably been hearing a little bit, especially with this whole Destiny Queen thing, about the importance of mechanics. Now, I don't talk a lot about hotkeys, kind of because it's a little hard to talk about hotkeys. Use hotkeys is really the only thing there is to say about hotkeys. But I'm going to talk a lot in this game about timing, which is a really important fundamental. Now, I don't mean this kind of high-level strategic timing where you say, okay, I'm going to have my Mutalisks out right before he has his turrets, or I'm going to have my Banelings morphed right before his army shows up. Not that kind of micro timing, that kind of big, high-level stuff. I really mean the basics. So I'm just going to start at the beginning here and talk about everything I see this Zerg player doing. Imok is the one who submitted this game. He submitted it about 2 weeks ago, so for all I know, he's not in bronze anymore, but I thought I would use the game anyway. His opponent here is a Terran player, Top Dog, but we're mostly going to be focusing on Imok here. My basic premise is this. If you are in bronze, you are suffering a lot from little inefficiencies in your play that add up. Now, let's see. He does build his first drone immediately. That's good. Actually, let's just watch to see what the split looks like. Let's just watch. Game starts. The game has started. What happens? He sends his drones, and he makes a drone right here. I usually prefer to make the drone first, but that was pretty good. That was pretty solid. Now, let's watch. He's at 7 supply. Look at his minerals. 50, 55, 60. Okay, already. That drone was late. Let's go back and see just how late it was. It wasn't very late, right? It wasn't very late, but look, 30 minerals. 45, 50 minerals. Make the drone, 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 make the drone. See, that was more than a second late. And, oh, maybe we can see why. Okay, so make sure the chat window is not open. Next drone was on time. So, yeah, don't do that. Okay, so he is droning up to 10 here. Okay, with the exception of that little glitch that seemed to have been because he was typing into the chat window, we're looking pretty good here. Now his Overlord should be coming up here at 100. Perfect. Great timing there on the Overlord. So Imok is already looking like a Master League player, with the exception of that tiny little hiccup. We won't give him too much trouble for that. Now, do you see anything wrong here? I see something pretty wrong. But let's give it just a second. This music is kind of loud. This is the level I've been having it. I don't know. It's loud in my headphones. I'll have to see how loud it is on the actual recording. So, Imok has made a gigantic error here. Notice the 3 larva problem here. You make an Overlord on 10, and if you just sit here, you're going to hit 3 larva. 2 larva, 2 larva, 2 larva, 3 larva. This whole time, not too bad. I'd have to look more closely at the timing to see why it wasn't too bad, but you really don't ever want to hit 3 larvae, especially this early in the game. What you want to do is right here, start the Overlord, 75 minerals, you want to do an extractor trick to build an additional drone. Actually, you want to send that drone out at about 65 minerals maybe, so it starts building the extractor just when you hit 75, and you can make a drone, cancel the extractor immediately, send him back. And you want to do that to make sure you don't end up sitting on 3 larvae, because that's just lost production. And if you think this is not a big deal, you might be wrong. I mean, if you're a Master League player and you say this is not a big deal, well, it's kind of true, but my point is that you're going to be making so many mistakes like this that they're going to add up, and it will become a big deal. So that's already a mistake. 3 drones coming out at a good time. That's fine. So we're just going to keep watching for these little mistakes. And what you want to do with this is just fix all of them. I mean, I really mean it. If you have some little glitch there, just fix it. Just keep working on it until you fix it. So right there I would say, iMock, absolutely, if you're going to make your overload on 10, do the extractor trick and do it at the right time, the perfect time, every time. If you don't like the extractor trick, then you can also make your overload on 9, which is what I more commonly do. 14th drone comes out at a good time. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of huge problems in this opening, but I want to emphasize this stuff because I think a lot of bronze players do struggle with this stuff. Now the 14th drone, okay, look at that. iMock hits 200, he's about to hit 200 minerals. Where is the pool? I don't see any pool coming. He's already at 200 minerals. When you're at 190 minerals or something, you should already have a drone moving over here so it's ready to build the pool now. See, instead he has to click to build the drone there, so this pool actually goes down at 240 minerals instead of 200. That's a mistake. This gas goes down immediately afterwards. I personally don't like getting gas so fast in this matchup, but it is a safe style. It can be a good way of dealing with 2 barracks pressure. I don't know why my frame rate sucks today. So let's see what iMock is going to do with this. Gas is done. Drones a little bit late going into the gas. Only a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Spawning pool coming out. I'm already detecting that we might want an overlord on the way, perhaps right now. Oh, he's droned up to 17. This pool is going to finish, and he won't be able to make a queen without doing an extractor trick. So let's see what exactly happens here. Production tab open. Still no overlord. I'm pausing here because this is gigantic. It is 3 minutes and 14 seconds into the game, and iMock is supply blocked. All right? Let me say this absolutely clearly. This is not acceptable. You cannot expect to win games if you get supply blocked so early. This is a gigantic issue, and it's also really easy to fix. You just learn the build, and you just do the same thing every time, and whenever you have a problem like this, you just fix it. The next game you go into, you say, all right, I need to make this adjustment. So in this case, I would say that really this drone right here, this 16th, let's see, this larva that pops out right here, this needs to be an overlord. You absolutely need to make an overlord with this instead of this 17th drone. Then, if iMock had made the overlord, then he could make a queen right now, and he would be at 18 supply, and it looks like iMock does want to make a pair of zerglings here. And you can actually do that if you really need the early zerglings. You can actually do that with an extractor trick. Maybe even better would be make that drone now instead of the zerglings using the extractor trick. But in any case, these things, you really need to think about this. Do not supply block yourself. Take every possible step necessary to practice your build so that this doesn't happen. This is also not good. It looks like iMock got a little out of control with his overlord, but I think it'll escape. So hard to tell. It looks like it might be killed. And if it's killed, iMock will be supply blocked again. Looks like it's okay. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there and say that he knew this timing perfectly and got his overlord out in time. By the way, what has iMock seen? Just a quick check of the fundamentals. Not too much. He's just approaching the front of the base with this drone right now. I didn't see when that scout went out, but I won't focus on it too much. Be a little more aware with your scout so you can get information as fast as possible. See, this scout That's actually very, very, very bad to take so much damage. I don't want to harp on this because it's not nearly as big an issue as these little build glitches, I would say. But that miscontrol on the drone meant he couldn't scout the ramp. And there's actually a lot you can see from the ramp. You can see 3 supply depots. So you actually already know that Top Dog is... Well, so what has happened? I'm not going to focus too much. It looks like Top Dog maybe missed some SCVs, so he has the money for an extra supply depot. Because he's teching pretty fast, given that. Anyway, a little strange. But Imok has gone for a Baneling Nest. It's continuing to keep his larva count low, which is good. But let's see when this queen started, shall we? Okay, he did start the queen while he was supply blocked, so it begins as soon as the Overlord comes out. That's good, at least. That's good given the circumstances. Don't get in this situation. Do not get in this situation. So I have this question about purpose here. I am going to continue to focus on these little glitches in Imok's build, but whenever you put down a building, you should always ask yourself, what is the purpose of this building? So, for example, Imok put down an extractor. What was the purpose of that extractor? Imok put down a Baneling Nest. What was the purpose of this Baneling Nest? These are very big considerations because right now Imok has not expanded. He could have expanded. As Zerg, expanding should be a very, very, very high priority. If you're not expanding, you should have a very compelling reason to not expand. Instead, he spent money on this extractor and guys mining gas, and money on this Baneling Nest. I'm just going to continue to call drones guys until I think of a better name. I might start talking like Zai and calling units men. I don't know. Money was invested, a lot of money was invested in this extractor to get this 150 gas, and in this Baneling Nest. I guess he got 200 gas, and 50 of it was spent on the Baneling Nest, but we see no Zergling speed, and we see, let's see, 2 Zerglings out on the map, just 2, and none in production. So already it looks like there has been some mistakes in Imok's build. It looks like he didn't really need all this gas. And if he was planning on going for a Baneling bust, if he wanted to make Banelings and then destroy these buildings here, well, you don't need this Baneling Nest until you already have Zerglings right here. Then you can morph a few of them, and as soon as they finish, you run them up to blow up the supply depot. Right, on the other hand, Top Dog has made a decent number of Marines out of 1 barracks. He has 3 here. So it doesn't look like Imok needs to defend, essentially, or especially. Even if he did need to defend, he has no units, right? So there's something has gone wrong here. This Baneling Nest was too early. It's quite likely this extractor was also too early. If Imok intended to get Zergling speed, he should have done it much earlier. Ideally, you want to be getting Zergling speed at the same time your money hits exactly 100-100. That's often a little bit of a fantasy, but that's what you should be aiming for. So if you see that you have all this gas and all this money, you should be thinking, wow, I should, whatever I was trying to get, maybe I should get it earlier. Doesn't look like he's going for Zergling speed, though. It looks like he's getting a second extractor. Again, I want another purpose. Okay, so Imok does intend on converting these 2 Zerglings into Banelings. It's an interesting idea because 2 Banelings can hold off a pretty large number of Marines, but not without Zergling support. These 2 Banelings are really not that useful. Marines can dance around them if there's no Zerglings in play. And even, let me just emphasize this. Even though Imok is getting these Banelings, he still has so much gas. There is no reason to have this much gas if your only plan is to get 2 Banelings. Because everything that you spend your money on, especially as Zerg, everything you spend your money on cuts into the amount of money you can spend on drones, which undermines the later stages of the game. Those drones will be made later or not at all, so they will not mine and you will have less money later. And that means you're just going to be more likely to lose later.